Journey to Lemora, Chapter 27, Waiting Game. Another day had passed without incident. We were starting to grow anxious inside our walled-up enclosure by the lake. The only correspondence we had with the outside world was the owl forest familiar, whose name we learned was Lemora. It flew back and forth through the forest and brought us orders from the grove. All we could do was wait and react. I was torn. I wanted to stay and help the Phalarians fend off the attack I kept seeing in my dreams, but I also wanted to leave. Kaelin told me where my brother Lucian was, but the longer we waited here, the more likely he would move on. I felt the urge to do something, anything except for all this waiting. Lemora flew away after the Fae guard tending to it put a message in its beak. Anu approached us, his tail swishing low in the grass by the lake. "What news from the grove?" asked Shayla. A platoon of Elorian soldiers were seen by the far southeast watchtower. They have yet to make a move. We have some time to prepare, Anu reported. "Couldn't we go investigate them?" I asked. "No, child. I know you're eager, but we have only won one battle. There is more to come, and there's much yet you have to learn. It's time for more training. Guardians must stay sharp and strong if we are to win this war," Anya rumbled. "But it's only been a day," Amber muttered groggily. "I've decided to teach you an important spell using a new element," he continued. "Are you finally going to teach us body magic?" Nick asked eagerly, but Anu shook his head. "In time. We will be learning air magic. Not every environment is as welcoming as the Fae would. Some places are toxic to the body, especially ones like yours. You may need this spell to survive. The air shield. You already know how to summon a basic shield with your magic, but with the air shield, you'll be able to filter out toxins and breathe in places you normally couldn't." "Do you mean like underwater?" Amber asked. "Yes," he said, and everyone grew excited. "You already know the incantations for fire, Elios, water, Rhea, and wood, Leon. Wind magic is Ore. Wind magic is elusive. You cannot catch the wind with your hands, but you can catch your breath. I want you to control your breathing and try infusing magic through it." We each sat down in a circle, closed our eyes, and focused on our breathing. In. The canopy of leaves overhead rustled gently, and the birds chirped around us. Out. You could still hear the murmurs of the Phalarian soldiers nearby as they worked to restore order. In. The grass we rested in smelled sweet from the morning dew, and it tickled my nose. Out. A whirlwind of air surrounded us, causing our hair to stand on end. Shayla's long green braid whipped around like a snake. "Very good. Now combine the air incantation and the shield incantation. Ore Brai Rala." "Ore Brai Rala," we each said together. Shayla was the first to manage a full wind shield. It spun around her, and her hair rested on her shoulder like normal. Nick succeeded next, but when Amber tried, she put too much energy into hers, and we were all blasted apart with a great, powerful gust. "Careful now. Wind isn't as hungry as fire, but it can be just as destructive," Anu said. "Sorry, guys. Is everyone okay?" Amber said, flushing. "We're fine," I laughed. "Let's try again." We continued training until all of us managed the air shield, while fire magic made us hungry, water thirsty, and spirit magic made us sleepy. Air magic gave you a horrible sense of dizziness when used too much. My head was spinning like a top by the end of the lesson, but we were all happy to know a new element and spell. Wow, Shayla, you're so good at this. Unlike me, Amber laughed, pulling debris out of her hair. I did not expect to be. I have never done air magic before, Shayla said, blushing. Really? So you've only ever used wood and spirit magic? I asked. Yes. For Faelarians, the other magics are only learned by the Guardians, Shayla replied. She's been training us. I think it's time we taught her what we know, Nick said slyly, and she grinned. We can teach you how to make fire magic. It was the first technique we learned, I said excitedly. Yes, Shayla agreed after a moment of hesitation. Fire is something I'm pretty good at. I'll show you. Elios, Amber said with great flourish, and a fireball burst from her hands. Shayla screamed in fright. What's wrong? Amber asked, taken aback. It's just fire. Nev fear, Nilas. I'll be stronger. Shayla stared wide-eyed at the flames. When I thought about it, the Fae never cooked their fish until we showed them, and the only time I saw them use fire was a funeral pyre. It made sense for people who turned into trees to be a little wary of it. Shayla lost her father very recently, too. Watching his funeral pyre was fresh on her mind. Do you want to try something else? I asked gently, but she shook her head. I want to learn, she said bravely, but her body trembled, giving her away. Would it help if I kept water handy? Nick asked, summoning water from the lake. It floated between his hands in a great orb. Fela, that would be wonderful. My thanks. After many tries, Shayla finally managed to make a small green flame. Her usually calm face was red with frustration. Is it supposed to be so small? She asked, holding the tiny flame on her fingertip. Don't feel too bad. I'm not very good with fire magic either. My first flame was actually smaller than that. I think it has something to do with our elemental attunements. That's right. The elemental opposites are fire and water, light and shadow, body and mind. Wood and air magic are opposites as well, but they are different, Anu explained. Really? How? Nick asked. They are complementary elements. Wood is complementary to water. Air is complementary to fire. Together, they make a new, stronger magic. So, air is weak to wood, wood is weak to fire is weak to water, water makes wood stronger, and air makes fire stronger? Correct, Anu said. But wouldn't that make water and air the complementary elements? No, because wood is also complementary to spirit. The Faelarian people are more likely to have spirit magic abilities because of this. Air is also complementary to body, and they also have an affinity to body magic. I think I understand, but it wouldn't hurt to write it down. It's like a weird game of rock, paper, scissors, Nick said, rubbing his chin. I don't understand. Rock, paper, scissors? Shayla asked, perplexed. Oh, right. I'll show you, he laughed. Nick started showing Shayla the rules to rock, paper, scissors. He was starting to grow a bit of stubble, and his thick, curly brown locks had grown past his ears. Nick's physique was changing, too. He wasn't as chubby as before. His body had leaned out from all the training and change of diet. I saw Amber looking at him, but he was entirely too busy with Shayla to notice. I saw a familiar, jealous look in her eyes, the same one I saw in my reflection back in the cave. Oh, say, I lost! Shayla exclaimed, stamping her foot. Maybe next time, Nick laughed, and Amber rolled her eyes. If water magic really makes wood magic stronger, would you like to put it to the test? Nick asked, and Shayla's eyes lit up. Oh, can we? She started to say when something swooped down over our heads. It was Leorena. Her wings spread wide as she cried for our attention. That will have to wait, I'm afraid. We have been summoned back to the grove. Hi everyone, it's Ella. Thanks so much for watching the latest episode of Journey to Lemora. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, and share the video. It really helps. I will be uploading a new episode every other week, so please stay tuned for the next episode.